Let me take a moment and talk about Riverside.fm. It allows you to record studio quality audio and up to 4K video. When you need to record audio and video, Riverside.fm can do it. So if you're looking for a hero platform for all your recording needs, from podcasts to webinars to any video content, Riverside.fm. I've got a promo code for you where you'll receive a 30% discount on the first 3 months of your subscription. I'll give it to you twice. The promo code is SHIPIT. All one word, SHIPIT, and you'll pick up a 30% discount on your first 3 months of your subscription. Riverside.fm.
In this episode of the Football History Headlines, we discuss some of the greatest players in gridiron history on their birthdays, as well as many more Hall of Fame legendary stories. And guys like Jim Youngblood, Jackie Smith, and Freddie Biletnikoff and more are remembered. So stay tuned for Football History.
This is the Pigskin Daily History Dispatch, a podcast that covers the anniversaries of American football events throughout history on a day-to-day basis. Your host, Darren Hayes, is podcasting from America's North Shore to bring you the memories of the gridiron, one day at a time. So as we come out of the tunnel of the Sports History Network, let's take the field and go no huddle through the portal of positive gridiron history with pigskindispatch.com.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hello, my football friends. This is Darren Hayes of pigskindispatch.com. Welcome once again to the Pigpen, your portal to positive football history. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a great show for you today, where we're covering the history headlines and Hall of Fame birthdays of the date of February 23rd in football history. Let's start off in the year 1877. Lisle, New York. The incredible guard of Princeton University, Bill Edwards, was welcomed into this world. Now, the National Football Foundation has a special story for this player. The bio on their site for Bill tells of how he used his rather large frame of 220 pounds at the time to make a most important tackle of his life on the gridiron fields. Edwards saved the mayor of New York City when he laid out a would-be assassin to the leader of the city after the assailant shot Mayor William Gaynor in 1910. Gaynor survived a serious wound, and Edwards himself suffered a flesh wound on his arm during the attack. The National Football Foundation voters placed the gridiron history of Bill Edwards safely into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1971, and Bill went into officiating the game later on, and even wrote a book on football titled Football Days. That's a great story when one of our gridiron heroes is an actual hero saving a public official from further harm on a would-be assassin. On February 23rd, 1923 in Hudson, Ohio, the awesome Ohio State end, Dante Lavelli, also known as Glue Fingers, was born. Now, you know, with a name like Glue Fingers, you can only expect one thing. Now, incredibly, Lavelli is reported to have only played in 3 college games before he served in the U.S. Infantry, and then turned professional after his tour of duty was complete. Now, how could he be attracted to pro franchises with so little bit of college on his resume, you might ask? Well, his coach at Ohio State was one guy named Paul Brown, who remembered as a sure-handed freshman, and in 1946, when assembling the new Cleveland Browns team in the 1946 inaugural season of the AAFC, Brown looked up Lavelli, and according to Glue Fingers' bio on the Pro Football Hall of Fame's website, to make the Browns, he had to beat out 4 more experienced and highly regarded candidates. But Dante not only prevailed, he led the league in receptions and won all AAFC honors in his rookie season. He caught the winning touchdown pass in the first All-American Football Conference Championship game between the Browns and the New York Yankees. And Dante made All-AAFC again in 1947 after the Browns moved into the NFL in 1950. Lavelli was an All-NFL twice and started in 3 of the first 5 Pro Bowl games played, and he finished his pro football career with 386 catches and 62 touchdowns. Dante Lavelli was enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1975. Now let's skip forward a few years. Go to February 23rd, 1930, Temple, Texas. Bobby Dillon, not the singer, but this one was a 6'1" tall safety from the University of Texas, arrived into his life. The ProFootballHallOfFame.com website says that Bobby picked off 4 passes as a rookie for the Green Bay Packers and totaled 52 of them in his 8-year NFL career. His return yards on those career picks was 976 yards, with 5 of them going all the way for touchdowns. When he called it quits, he was tied for second on the all-time list of league interceptions and held the Packers record. The Pro Football Hall of Fame honored Bobby Dillon's football legacy by placing his bronze best in Canton and unfortunately posthumously in the year 2020. February 23rd, 1940, Columbia, Mississippi. The brilliant tight end from northwestern Louisiana, Jackie Smith, was born. Smith was a long-tenured NFL player as his career spanned 16 seasons according to the Pro Football Hall of Fame's website. And Jackie was a 10th round pick by the St. Louis Cardinals in 1963 and played 15 seasons for the Redbirds. His bio describes him as a fierce blocker and an extremely hard person to tackle once he got his mitts on the ball. When he retired, he led all tight ends with 480 receptions, 40 scores, and 7,918 receiving yards. In his final season, he had the privilege of playing on Super Bowl 13 with the Dallas Cowboys. Jackie Smith was enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1994. This next one's a little bit special to me. February 23rd, 1943, Erie, Pennsylvania, the talented wide receiver that once wore the colors of Florida State Seminoles, Fred Biletnikoff, entered into his life. In his first 2 seasons at FSU, he played on both sides of the ball, and he showed us his defensive skill set in his junior year as he made a 99-yard run with an intercepted pass against Miami for the National Football Foundation. And according to Dan Brabender's book, Sports Heroes of the Erie School District, he was FSU's first consensus All-American, and he set single-season records with 70 receptions, 1,179 receiving yards, and 15 scores in 1964 at the school. Fred had some of his greatest performances while on the big stage. In the Gator Bowl victory over powerful Oklahoma, Freddie B hauled in 13 receptions in one game for 192 yards and 4 touchdowns as the Seminoles stomped the Oklahoma Sooners 36-19. Fred's Florida State career was so impactful that they retired the All-American's jersey number 25 from being used further in the school's football program. The collegiate accomplishments of Fred Biletnikoff were held in preservation in the College Football Hall of Fame in 1991. Well, next, the Oakland Raiders took Fred in the 1965 AFL draft, and he stayed with the franchise for his entire 14-year pro career. The shifty wideout caught a career 589 passes for 8,974 yards and 76 touchdowns. The Pro Football Hall of Fame says that Biletnikoff owned several significant NFL marks as well. Along with another Hall of Fame receiver, Raymond Berry, Fred held the record for having caught 40 or more passes in 10 consecutive seasons. His 70 receptions, 1,167 yards receiving, and 10 touchdowns in 19 postseason games were also NFL postseason records. He played in 2 AFL All-Star games and 4 AFC NFC Pro Bowl games, as well as 3 AFL and 5 AFC Championship games, plus Super Bowls 2 and 11. Fred was the MVP of that Super Bowl 11 Raiders victory too. Fred Biletnikoff was enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1988. And as a final note, we share that the earlier mentioned author Dan Brabender declares Biletnikoff to be the greatest wide receiver in NFL history. Pretty strong words, but a very good receiver, and he might not be incorrect on that. On February 23rd, 1950, Union, South Carolina, the outstanding linebacker from Tennessee Tech, Jim Youngblood, celebrates his date of birth. The National Football Foundation's bio on Jim says that he set a school record with 476 tackles, and Tennessee Tech retired his jersey number 53. After both the 1971 and 1972 seasons, Youngblood received All-American honors for his great play, and Jim Youngblood's collegiate career is forever preserved as he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1996. After school, Jim was picked by the Los Angeles Rams in the 72 NFL Draft and played 11 seasons there and one final year in Washington. And I told you, there were some big stars in his Hall of Fame birthday class of February 23rd. I'm not sure what they were feeding those babies in the hospital on February 23rd, but wow, that is a star-studded cast right there. Some of the best players in football history, both collegiately and in the pro levels, that you can find. I put that date up there with any of them, and I think you'd rank very high. So February 23rd, special day, and it's a great special day because you joined us once again here for some great football history here on the Pigskin Dispatch podcast. We also want to make sure you mentioned that you can check us out on the Sports History Network, along with 24 other great podcasters there that are just bringing their hearts and souls and some great guests and great information on sports history, sportshistorynetwork.com. Don't forget to check out our websites, jerseydispatch.com and the Sports Jersey Dispatch podcast. We're talking about sports history a lot on that podcast as well, from other sports, including football. And our website, pigskindispatch.com, all part of the Pigpen Sports Syndicate. We love sports history, and we want to bring it to you each and every day and make sure that you are the best, well-rounded sports historian that you can be, and have all that information to talk around the water cooler. Till tomorrow, everybody, have a great Gridiron Day. We're taking a peek over at the chains and the down marker. It's 4th and long. We're going to have to punt the ball and get on out of here, but we'll have another series tomorrow for your football history headlines, so be sure to tune in. We invite you to check out our website, pigskindispatch.com, not only to see the daily football history, but to experience positive football with our many articles on the good people of the game, as well as our own football comic strip, Cleat Marks Comics. Pigskindispatch.com is also on social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel to get all of your positive football news and history. Special thanks to the talents of Mike and Gene Monroe, as well as Jason Neff, for letting us use their music during our podcast. PigskinDispatch.com is a proud affiliate of the Sports History Network, the headquarters of sports yesteryear.
Are you having a hard time figuring out what to get Dad for Father's Day? You should check out Row 1 Brand's Vintage Pictorum Gallery. They have America's best sports art. With over 7,200 historic sports prints, you're assured to find something unique for Dad this Father's Day. Instead of a boring old tie, get him a historic baseball photo taken by Henry High Sandom at the historic Polo Grounds Stadium in New York City during the 1894 Temple Cup. Or, if he's an NFL buff, check out the 1963 vintage NFL poster. These are so good looking that you'll be amazed how they turn out. Shop now at sportshistorynetwork.com/row1 and save 15% off your order.